Boom, we're ready to go. All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, Emily? How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am recovering from a beast of a bronchitis, and I just want to give a very fair, what do you call it, a caveat or a warning or a disclaimer to everyone today that I am on medication. So I'm just a little bit loopy. And if you want to persuade me of anything, now is a great chance. I'm a little more vulnerable than normal. You know the drug they give to people to get them to really open up about anything? It has a similar effect.
This is the Amazon Truth Serum.
I'm already kind of a loopy as a person sometimes, a little crazy. So this is like taking it to the next level. The other day, Emily, yesterday, our maids were at our house and they were cleaning. And they're cleaning at our house, and there's these sweet little chubby ladies there cleaning, and I'm just talking to them and I'm trying to say Spanish, and they just kept laughing at me, and I didn't realize how loopy I was coming off. But finally I just said estoy loco, and they all started laughing like crazy. One of my kids is like, "You're embarrassing me, Dad."
That's so funny. No Spanish on drugs. That's
Right.
not the time to do it.
I'm going to try not to cough because I don't want any of you guys to get what I get. Actually, you're safe because it's not contagious, so don't worry about it.
Oh, that's good.
All right. So guys, for those of you on Instagram, just so you know, we are right now on YouTube. That's where we're going to focus. We'll still stay on Instagram for those of you guys who are on YouTube right now, just for your benefit. But the questions we're going to answer are going to be here on YouTube. We do this every Wednesday at noon Central. Hope we bring a ton of value to you guys. Emily is a badass just-in-time warrior. She's a student. She's crushing on Amazon. She's profitable. She has a growing store. She's very open about her highs and lows. She also has an Instagram channel, and she likes to help answer questions. She was one of the top-rated teachers at Ecom 2019, which is huge. She was one of the speakers there, which is a huge congrats to you, Emily. That's awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Especially when you're, shoulder to shoulder with some other very good speakers. We brought in some really good speakers, and you did really, really well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, great to see you guys. Hello, Seth. Are you now a bus driver? Haha, that's too funny. No. So we're in the Just When I'm office, and those buses are for a karate class down below a different store for karate. So no, I don't drive a bus. Okay. So guys, here we go. Loopy is normal for me. I think you're right, Johnny. Absolutely. Okay. Here's the plan today, guys. I have a question I'm going to ask Emily. This question is a result of what many of you guys have asked. And the last time we did live, someone said specifically, when we were in Hawaii, could you please answer this question? And we promised to do it in our next live. So here we go. Emily, I launched a product. My product is really, really, really selling well for the first few days. And then all of a sudden, it stops ranking on page 1. In other words, when someone searches the keyword in Amazon, it doesn't show up on the first page anymore. In fact, it's on page 3. Oh, wait a minute. Now it's on page 5.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Now it's on page 79. What do I do? What are your tips for this, Emily? Share whatever you got. I got lots to share in this as well. I want to help you guys who have a product and it's not showing up on the first page of search results, or if it did once, it's not sticking. How can we help you? We're going to do that right now. Then we're going to take 15 minutes to answer any questions we can. Emily, the stage is yours, madam.
Okay. If I remember correctly, I think the person that asked us this question said that he had done an aggressive PPC campaign as well as an aggressive launch.
Correct.
And so that's even worse because you've spent the money and the time and you're still not sticking. So that's super frustrating, and I've been there and I understand that. There's a couple things to keep in mind. Sales are what keep you on page 1. And the way that you make sales is by being optimized and by being relevant to what the customer wants. And Amazon is a customer-centric platform. So anytime someone types in, brown coffee cup and your coffee cup meets their need, Amazon, puts a little point on your scoreboard and says, that was great. They wanted it, they got it, and we've linked the two together. And so you get certain prioritization from them. But it's important that you're feeding the algorithm as well as the sales channel there. And so probably what has happened is you were on page one because you moved minutes through PPC and a launch to be able to play on page one, but your sales weren't able to stick you there. So that means you need to figure out a way to outsell your competitors. There's a couple things to look at. And here's a really interesting one that has just become apparent to me for my listing. When I started, the landscape was kind of different. There was nobody selling variations in my category. And I thought, hey, I'm going to offer 5 variations. I'll be the most attractive person just for options alone. And that was great. And you know what? It was a great idea because then everybody did it right after I did it. So then I needed to kind of pivot again and say, what's new? What's new? And the thing that stumped me, even though it sounds so silly to say it, is that it doesn't mean that you have a bad product or even an undesirable product. It might just mean that customers are not clear on what you're offering. So it could be confusing, or it could just be a little bit different, like a 10-inch frying pan versus an 8, and you sell a 10 and they want an 8. So it doesn't mean you have a bad product, but you've got to rethink about the way that you're talking about your listing or the keywords you're using or things like that. So the main thing is figuring out how to be seen and how to convert. Now, a lot of people that run launches, like viral launches, an example, their number one thing that they tell you before you run a launch is, what is your conversion rate? And is it good enough that a launch will actually be useful to you? So that would be a really interesting thing to look at, your conversion rate pre-launch. Was it good enough to stick you on page one? For me, that wasn't the case. I haven't done a launch, but for me, my conversion rate is the exact thing I'm working on. So for me, a launch would be kind of pointless at this point, or even when I first started. So those are kind of my initial thoughts. Why don't you jump in, Seth, and then I can kind of share more.
I want to take a moment to talk about giveaways. You mentioned viral launch. They used to focus almost exclusively on you give customers the opportunity to get their product at a 90 or 95% discount, so that pretty much you're doing a giveaway and you get a lot of people buying, and that ranks you. Well, what Amazon has done since then is, if you have that heavy of a discount, it doesn't help your ranking as much. Excuse me, guys. So as a result, those kind of giveaways are not as effective. Now, if you guys go into your Seller Central account, you go up into the help button at the top right where it says help, and you type in Amazon giveaway, it will take you to a page so that if you are launching a new product, you can actually launch a new product on Amazon's giveaway page with some kind of deal, and it needs to be a new product, and it'll allow you to increase your chance of getting reviews, and it'll cost you $60 per SKU, which is nothing for the value you get. So that's one way you can do that. But here's the reality. We live in the world today where doing a giveaway does not have the same impact as it used to have. So what do? Emily's 100% correct. The way you get your product to get up to the top, okay? I search, coffee coaster, tea mug coaster. The way you get it up to the top is you get a lot of sales. You need sales. What happens when it starts to drop? In other words, it's not sticky enough. Can you guys shut that door, please? What if it's not sticky enough, okay? The way you fix that is you take it and you optimize the product. So Emily used the example of an 8 versus 10 or 10 versus 12-inch frying pan. If you're offering a 12-inch, but what they want is a 10-inch, we have a problem. Or let's say this, you did your research correctly. They do want a 12-inch, but it's not obvious yours is a 12-inch. Everyone else is offering a 10, but you're fixing the niche that it's a 12. And you said, but I can't add numbers. I can't add words to my first image, my featured image, because Amazon won't let me. True. How do you make it obvious it's a 12-inch? You do a comparison picture. You have someone holding it up next to their body to show that it's larger. You have a text spec photo later on that talks about it. You put it in your title at the end, 12-inch pan, or even at the beginning if it's a highly searched term. The idea is simple, guys. What does your customer want? If your product is at the top because you did a launch, because you advertised, because you're running PPC, because you did Facebook ads, because you did Amazon giveaway, because it's new, which also triggers an algorithm that allows you to get better ranking at the beginning anyways, just because it's a new product. Amazon does that. If it was ranking and it stopped ranking as well, I can almost guarantee you the reason is the listing is not meeting their need enough. When I go to your listing, I can't quickly tell it's what I want, so I don't buy it. You have to optimize your listing. The listing is optimized, and that's why you're not sticking. So let me go back again. How do I get my product to show up on the first page? Lots of sales. How do I get lots of sales? PPC on a fantastic listing, and also Facebook ads if you want, and also Amazon's giveaway page if you want. That's how you get it up there. But getting it there is not good enough because you're probably not profitable yet. You're spending a lot of money and time getting it just to be there. The question is, how do I make it sticky? How do I make it stay there? That then becomes a question. When you were up there on the first page, if you just went, oh, I'm good, it's there. No, no, no. It's not going to stay there, guys, unless you keep spending all that PPC money. How sure that buy it so much organically, regardless of PPC ads, that it's still there? And that's where you have to find out what they want. Now, there's 1,000 different ways to find out what your customer wants, but I'm going to turn this back to Emily. Emily, when you're optimizing your product, what are the ways you find out what your customer wants? And I'm talking about you've already launched, but now you're saying, okay, it's a pretty good product, listing's pretty good, but I want it to convert better. What do you do? Where do you go to optimize what you already got?
Yeah, so there's a long list, and I have a ready answer because I'm doing this with my listing right now. So there's obvious things that we all know.
Yeah. Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Did you hear what she just said? Just take a moment, you guys, and I want you, this is precious gold to me. How does she have a list ready? Is it because she put together a nice presentation for this, which is perfectly fine? No, it's because it's exactly what she's doing for her listing. Guys, I just want to remind you, this is what makes Just One Dime different. We're not a marketing company that sells a bunch of freaking courses to make money off of people eager to make money. We're teaching you out of our freaking experience, what we're learning, what we're doing. There's a table over here. I will show it to you guys. You want to see my Amazon corner? Let me show you, my friends. Now, it's a little messy because we're still under construction. But I want you to see that table, everybody? Here, I'll do it for Instagram too. See that table? That is where Amazon happens every day for 2 hours. So I just want to remind you guys, what we're teaching you is not theory. We didn't do a Google, get some tips and say, oh, let's put together a course. That is BS and it doesn't work. What Emily's about, this is what I love about Emily. She's teaching you out of her own victories and struggles. So what she's about to share is real life knowledge. I would so much rather be in the, what do you call it, the foxhole with someone who has been fighting for years in the military than someone who's a professor who talks about it. You see, that's what makes Just One Dime awesome. Back to you, Emily. And really quick on Instagram, we're on YouTube. If you want to watch this on YouTube, we're answering questions there, not here. So you could just search Seth Kniep on YouTube, but we'll still stay live for those 23 of you who want to stay on Instagram. Okay, back to you, Emily. What are ways you find out what the customer wants to optimize your listing?
Yep. So photos are obviously the number one thing. Your main photo has to be super compelling. And here's something I didn't know going into it. And you and I even had this talk a couple different times about having a photographer take a very macro photo of your product. They can't touch it, they can't feel it, they can't experience it. So they need to feel like they can just from that photo. I had a fine photo, it was good quality and everything. It just didn't demonstrate the product like it should have. And the other thing too is your title. When I first started selling, I went through the course and did everything to optimize my title. And, I thought I had it all together. And I was making decent sales per day. I was happy with the sales, but most of them were coming through PPC and I wasn't sticky like you were talking about. And so I literally just met with a coach and all we did was fix my title. And then all of a sudden I'm on page 1 for all of my major keywords. So that was great. And then I needed to figure out how to up my sales.
Can I stop you, Emily?
Yep.
I just want to make sure people get that, because you make such a good point, but then you keep going. So
Yeah.
you changed your title, and what happened as a result?
I was on page 1 for probably between 6 and 12 keywords immediately, just based on like really basic sales level, like less than 14 units per day.
Okay, so she used Just When I'm Training to optimize her title. Can you just be a little more specific? You don't have to tell us what the product is, but what did you do to the title? What kind of concepts or tools did you use to change the title, which gave you better ranking, which made you more money, which gives you more freedom, so you have margin to do the things you love with the people that you love?
Yeah, so I used the information. I wasn't a member at that point, so I used the information on YouTube and through my own research. But my mistake was I made it too people friendly and not algorithm friendly enough. And I didn't know all the tips and tricks about spacing and canonical URLs and on and on. I didn't know all that stuff. It wasn't like presently as high up in the visibility as it is now in Amazon training. And so I met with one of the coaches, and all we did was just change things around a little bit so that I used the real estate really efficiently. And I didn't know how to do that. I mean, even looking at my title now, I think to myself, could I recreate this? Yes, now, 10 months in, yes, now I could. But even a month into it, I was like, I don't know. I still don't know how to do this that well. And like I said, I was happy with my sales in a sense of the traction I was gaining, but they weren't profitable sales because they were 100% PPC. And I wasn't even that far down. I mean, I think I was on page 3 organically, so it wasn't 79, but it still wasn't making me organic sales. So it was that simple and that complicated in the sense that I lack that knowledge. So
I'm going to jump in real quick.
yeah.
This is awesome. I want to get super tactical. Notice Emily mentioned people friendly, customer friendly versus Amazon algorithm. A really good listing supports both. It complements both. An example of a super people-friendly list: natural wood. The wood will not give you allergies. You will love the design. It's almost like writing beautiful copy that would be fun to read. But a good algorithm for the title itself might be, you're going to start with the brand name, unless Amazon puts that in for you. Then you're going to have the next 4 words, assuming your brand name is 1 word, are going to be the most important keywords. Then you're going to have a space, a hyphen, and a space. Then you have the next most important keywords. And then at the end, you're going to list the most important differentiation your listing has that no one else has. See what just happened? So what you want to do is you want to combine both the people-friendly, reader-friendly, beautifully written with what actually is super important for ranking on Amazon. You need both. And that's a great example of optimizing a listing. And we're just talking about the title, and that impacted her sales dramatically. Okay, back to you, Emily.
I actually have a question I want to ask you for what you think is best practice at this point. When is it too late to change your title? Because I've heard a couple people ask this in the Facebook group and on and on. It's like, oh, I don't think I did a good enough job. However, I am ranking. When is too late in your mind for the algorithm and for ranking?
Once you have sales that are reasonable, now it depends on the product category, but I'm going to give you guys a general guiding line. If you're selling 5 a day or more, so you're starting to get a decent amount of income. Maybe 1 a day is nothing, 5 a day is kind of cool, 10 a day is great. Once you start getting to that point, don't change your title unless you're just changing out 1 keyword. However, when it comes to the canonical link, again, the brand, 4 keywords, space, hyphen, / bar, whatever you want character in there, space, and the rest. Once that is set up and what's the word? It's on Amazon. It is, I can't think of the word. It is, it's verified in their system. The word will come back to me in a minute. But once it's in their system, so when you search that product and you click on the link at the top, it'll say all those keywords along with your ASIN and then all the other information. It won't just be the ASIN. It'll actually have the keywords in the link. You don't want to mess with that ever again. So that's the one part you'll never change. But when it comes to sales, this is a little more of a gray area. As a rule of thumb, once I'm doing at least 5 sales a day and it starts picking up from there, the only thing I'm going to change, Emily, is maybe just one keyword at the most. And that's it. One more thought. Your title matters a lot. And you guys just heard from Emily's example why it matters so much. Index. That was the word I was trying to remember. Index. When you first launch your product, it's not indexed. Like if I create a new listing right now today and it's cool looking coaster is the title, and you search cool looking coaster, you're not going to see it. It's kind of like the crawlers for Google. Amazon has to put it into their system. It needs to be indexed so it connects the keywords with the product. So when the customer searches the keyword, that listing shows up. That takes up to 48 hours. Once it's indexed, now you're on a time clock. And any changes you make, the further out you go as your sales go up, the more it can cause your product to have to be re-indexed, which means it loses its low BSR, which means instead of ranking on page 1, you're on page 239, which is almost like starting over. So you don't want to make any drastic changes to a listing that's already selling quite well. And as a general rule of thumb, 5 times a day or more.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the other things that I've been doing is I've been looking at my data. I think when I started this process, I got lazy with that. It was like, oh, data's not my thing. I'm just going to do this based on some research. And I mean, I put time into it. It's not like I didn't, but the amount of really analytical research that needed to be done about my own listing, about my competitors, the way that the marketplace was shifting, all of that kind of stuff. That's been what I've been working on right now because my PPC has been eating into my profits significantly. So like you always say, it's easy to move product around if you have a good product, but to be really profitable and preserve those margins, that's another big part of sticking on page 1, because it's too early to celebrate, even if you get sticky and you are there, that you're profitable and that you're competitive, because otherwise it's just moving money around. So something I did today, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say something I did today is it's not a high level keyword, but I ended up getting Amazon's choice for this keyword. Now, compared to the 12 that are the real big movers, not that exciting, but it showed me something really interesting. Customers care about this keyword and what it implies about the product. So now I'm really featuring that because even though only select group searches for that, I believe the whole market cares about it. And that's the kind of data that you can only get when you're really moving enough product to get user feedback and searches and on and on. And the last thing I'll say, just as a strategy to stick on page 1 that I'm trying to do right now, is use basically product pages or detail pages, whatever you want to call them, to target my competitors where I think I have a better offer, and to try to do more aggressive but better converting PPC. So that's something that I've been trying to play around with too, to work on that stickiness for page 1.
When you mentioned the keyword, could you expound a little bit on that? You said there was a keyword that your customers care about. What exactly did you do with that keyword, or what happened there?
So I added a little badge. There's a symbol that is a universal symbol that says that to people. So it has text, but it's a symbol as well. And it's funny because I actually tried to rank for this keyword back when I started, last summer working with a coach, or maybe before that. And it didn't convert. No one even cared that that was a search term. No one was searching for it, and no one cared if my product was that or not. Now, fast forward 10 months, and it seems like a lot of people care. So it's in my second photo that says, hey, look, guys, this is true of my product. And even though probably a lot of people can claim it, nobody even talks about it, even in their listing, let alone as a badge and a picture or anything. So I'm capitalizing on that. And I already had more sales by 11 o'clock today than I had by 10 p.m. yesterday.
Wow.
I think just based on that change. I don't know. We'll see.
That's super cool.
Yeah, but I think it's going to make a big difference.
Here's what I love about Amazon. It's what's hard about Amazon And actually, let's forget Amazon for a minute. E-commerce, but also what's amazing, sometimes it's just, sorry guys, it's just one small change that can make the difference of hundreds of thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars over a period of time. One small change. When just one-time student, he just decided to add one color, black, to his product. His sales went 3 to 5 times up. That's it. That's all we did. So sometimes just testing out those little things. That's why you never really want to stop optimizing the listing. It does become passive once you've launched because you don't have to spend 40 hours a week working on it. But even if you give it 1 or 2 hours a day and you're working and you're testing, like right now, Emily, how much time are you giving to this particular product a day? And keeping in mind, you're in a heavy testing period as well.
Right. So my general answer would be 2 hours a day. It's gone up to about 4 because I am like hardcore head down time on everything about how to get competitor intelligence, about how to, like, I've been playing around with my price, looking at PPC reports, changing, all sorts of things. And the thing that's been very frustrating, why I feel for this person that asked this question, and I tell this to everybody I coach, I say, what's so frustrating about my product is it is a better product. If you were holding my top competitor and my product in a store, I believe you would choose mine for many, many reasons. But I didn't join Just One Dime in time to realize the importance of that cover photo.
Yeah.
And the quality performance side of things is hard to demonstrate just in a photo.
Right.
And we both know that people make the same claims whether their product does it or not. And so that's very tricky as well.
Yeah.
So that's why that stickiness is really hard to achieve, even if you have a great product.
Yep. Very, very good point. Thank you for that. All right, guys. So we're going to take some questions. Again, just so you guys know, sorry, guys. I got a really serious case of bronchitis. I had to go to the doctor. I'm on medications. I'm a little bit loopy, but I'm happy. There were several days I woke up, I literally felt like someone had shoved a crowbar through one temple and out the other. And it hurts so bad to cough. It's getting better, but I'll try not to cough as much as possible. The good thing is it's not contagious. So even if I cough at the screen, you guys won't get it. So don't worry about it. So just giving you guys a heads up. For those of you guys on Instagram, head over to YouTube if you want to get the full version of this, because you're going to see all the questions that we answer. And then tomorrow on Instagram, I'll be back at 12 p.m. as promised. For those of you guys waiting for Seth on Fire coaching, that starts this week. You will get an announcement, an email announcing when that starts. So I was literally laid flat for several days. The last time I've been to the doctor for sickness, check this out. So I got to share this story really quick, and I hope this encourages you entrepreneurs out there. This is the joy of being wealthy and being healthy. Because if you're wealthy, you can be more healthy. You can actually spend your food budget can triple. Ours did, but it's because we eat organic, really healthy food. When I went into the clinic, Emily, they said, okay, you got to fill out this form. I said, well, I've been here before. They said, well, let me look you up. What's your last name? So I gave them my last name. I said, it's Seth Keep it real. Not joking. I just said Keep. And they looked it up and they said, the last time you were here was 5 years ago. The last time I had to go to the doctor for being sick was 5 years ago.
Wow.
5. So I hope that encourages you guys. That's one of the reasons I left the richest company in the world and decided to build my dream, selling on Amazon, selling on eBay, selling on Instagram, doing real estate, starting a coaching company, traveling the world, was because I knew I could have a better quality of life. So I could tell you my medical bills are so freaking low. 5 years? Didn't have to go to the doctor? I hope that tells you something. That's because I have the money, which creates the margin to work out almost every day, to eat healthy, to feel confident. It increases my health. It enhances my sex life. It helps me to feel more confident as a human. Everything's affected as a result of that. And I just really hope that that encourages you guys as well. But I want to be here live today because I wasn't with you guys Instagram the last 2 days, and I felt bad about that. So I'm with me. I'll come out, and it's not contagious. Okay. All right. So thank you. I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much. All right. So what I'm going to do, thank you so much, Marion. I'm going to go backwards through the questions on YouTube, and we're going to answer them briefly and succinctly. Emily, just take the ones that you want to take. I'll read them out loud. Here we go. I sell, but I do not rank. That's one of the questions.
So it sounds like you're not optimized properly, because that's exactly what we were just talking about, is the fact that I was moving product, but I wasn't showing up any further. So check your title, your bullet points, and really get a good handle on what the keywords are that you need to be ranking for. What are you most relevant for? And I'll keep this super brief, but there's this new best practice. I talked about it on my Instagram yesterday, of building longer tail keywords that you're most relevant for and that you can rank for without killing your budget. And then even a year later, maybe going up to the top of that pyramid and ranking for the word you believe you're most relevant for and that you want to be most relevant for. So really look at those hopefully cheaper keywords to be relevant, and make sure your listing is optimized, or it's all kind of for naught.
Excellent answer. I love long tail keywords. Product almost sucks. I can't increase the price. I'll answer this. So if your product almost sucks, you need to get a product that doesn't even get close to sucking. Your product should be fabulous and amazing. If you're going to sell anything less than excellent, your business won't work. In other words, imagine I'm your customer and even your pictures are amazing, and I buy your product and your product almost sucks. Like if my review on Amazon is product almost sucks, your business won't take off. So you need to fix your product. How do I know how to fix my product? Find out what your customer wants. How do you find out what your customer wants? Begin by studying other products, studying competitor critical reviews, looking into Facebook groups and online Reddit community groups where people talk about that kind of lifestyle. For example, if it's technology, it's microphones. What kind of microphones do they like? What do they want? What do they not like? Start to understand your customer. Then you can build something that they love. Next question. Everything is hard on Amazon, even finding products now. I'm going to answer this one as well. First of all, Ephraim, have you ever started a business in e-commerce not using Amazon? And my respectful guess is no. I did. And that is why I value Amazon so much. Amazon makes it 10 times easier to get sales quickly than starting your own e-commerce Shopify business. Because if I go to your website, I have no reason to trust you. You have to build a lot of credibility. That's going to take you months. But if I go to Amazon and your listing looks amazing, I already trust you. Why? Because it's Amazon's platform. So just to give you comparison, if you think it is hard to sell on Amazon now to find products, you need to change your perspective. There are more products that have opportunities to be sold right now than I have time to. I'm looking to hire people to help me launch more products because of my time limitations. I have a list of so many products right now, Emily, in Amazal, that are just sitting there, and I don't have time to focus on them, which is why I need more people to help me do that so we can launch these products and make more money and learn more about Amazon. So I promise you, my friend Ephraim, the issue is not Amazon. The issue is your perspective, which needs to change. I understand it feels hard, but if you have the right knowledge, it's not hard. Let me give you an example. When I was a kid, I loved knives, like cool looking knives. I thought they were so cool. I'd love to collect knives with like cool designs on the handles. I loved them. And I'll never forget one time, I got this knife with this beautiful design on the handle. And I'm using it one day to cut or to carve a piece of wood. And it was really hard. And my dad said, "Your knife's too dull." And I said, "Yeah, but at least it's safer. I'm less likely to cut myself." And you know what he said? He said, "A dull knife is actually more dangerous than a sharp knife." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Because you have to push really hard. And then if you slip, you're more likely to hurt yourself, especially if you're not cutting the right direction, which is always supposed to be away from you." I never forgot that. And he was right. The same is true when it comes to knowledge. When you have greater knowledge, when your knowledge is sharper, your job becomes easier. So what you need to do, Ephraim, is don't blame Amazon. Don't blame products. I promise you this, my friend. The trend right now is this. The percentage of people going to Amazon to buy is growing much faster than the percentage of people going to Amazon to sell. So it's actually, from that perspective, it's getting easier, not harder. All you need to do is say, where do I get the knowledge? Efrain, if you're not a Just One Dime member, click the link below and join us. We will freaking help you, my friend. Emily is living proof of that. If I could go back, Emily, back to when I first started Amazon, which was only a few years ago, I would purchase my course for 10 times what it is just to get the knowledge, because I know how much money I would. I'm not saying this is some sales tactic, guys. I would do it. I'm here on medications and drugs. It's hard to make me lie right now. I would do it for 10 times what it is, because I would make that money back and so much more as a result with the knowledge, and so much faster than I did. You guys think it's cool? Oh yeah, 6 months, $100,000. I could have done that way faster with the knowledge that I have. My voice is disappearing, by the way. So we'll answer these questions as long as I can, but I think my sickness is affecting me. It's your fault, Efrain. I'm joking. Okay, here's the next question, Emily. I discovered this strategy worked for me. Once the title is changed and the keyword sticks, do I add this keyword as an exact match?
That depends. Some people do that. I think that's kind of best practice once you find that you convert well for a specific keyword. I know some people who are, at least mid-level sellers to high-end sellers who still prefer to use phrase match because they get a better result from that. So it's really up to you and your conversion rate and the expense of that keyword. Obviously, exact is more expensive. So there's a lot of strategy involved, but I would say yes, probably you would.
I agree 100%. And one of the reasons is it'll allow your product to show up better in sponsored ads when there's a match between the two. So really good question and suggestion, Pamela. Next question. Hi, Seth, says Amjad. I have a product, some kind of industrial cutter blades. Cool. This product is not available on Amazon, and I want to test this product to market feedback. Kindly advise on this. Yes, here's what you do, my friend. What you do, Amjad, is you buy about 50 of these products, send them into Amazon's fulfillment center, run PPC ads aggressively on them. Put all of your long tail keywords as broad match. In fact, even your short tail keywords as broad match, because what you're doing is product research. You're going to wait 10 days. After those 10 days are over, you're going to continue to run it, but you're going to download the keyword report and you're going to read all the data. The data will tell you if people are searching for this product. And since you know Amazon's not already selling it, you might have found a gold mine, my friend. Really, really good question and good strategy. And by the way, if you don't know how to do this, join our membership. We teach exactly how to do this step by step through trading. All right, Mark asked this. Emily, I'll give this to you. What do you mean by adding a badge?
Just for certain certifications or accreditations or things like that, there's badges that are their official symbol or that mean certain things. So I just hire a designer to add that to a photo. Like in my upper right-hand corner, I've got this badge and it makes this claim about the safety or the material of my product or whatever it is. And I find that's a really quick way for users to not have to read, which is what I always say, or not users, shoppers, because I don't want them to have to go into the subtext to find this certification. So I just made it a snapshot view for them. Super easy to do, costs $5 on Fiverr.
Excellent. And I see some people have questions here and other people are answering, so good job, guys. All right, Amazon is getting too competitive in products, too many factors. You have no control of your email. Okay, this is Efrain again. Efrain, I just refer you to my other answer. I just want to encourage you, my friend. I mean this as a friend. Amazon is not your challenge. You are. And I say the same to myself. I say the same to Emily. If you move into this thinking of Amazon's too tough, it's too competitive, you have no control. Actually, you do have control of your email list because you collect those emails through an insert card off Amazon. I have an entire huge email list for multiple brands from products that we've launched. I have control over those, my friend. In fact, if Amazon wasn't working, I would be launching 3 new brands, 3 new products, and one of these I'm doing public with a bunch of people who are at Ecom 2019. They can watch as we do it. It works. It's real. It happens. People are becoming millionaires doing that, and I don't say that lightly. So the difference here is not Amazon. You have to gain the knowledge and have the mindset, I'm willing to learn. And that would be my challenge to you, my friend. Okay, Niali says, hey guys, does a product's main image have to have a white background, or can it be a background that improves the look of the product and help it sell? It does have to be white.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the exact same thing. Yeah. It should,
gotcha.
and it's required to.
Yep, 100%. The biggest challenge is if you're selling a white product, if it's like, if you're selling a notepad, it's really hard to make it look good. So what some people do is they make the background just slightly off-white to make it look better. And I've never seen Amazon suppress a listing or penalize that. So just keep that in mind. All right. Oh, that's cool. Lynette and Jim, they said, hello from Arizona. We got you all on UE Boombox while stripping wallpaper. So that's very cool. All right. Here's another question from Sandlot Group. Hey guys, I have a private label product in Amazon selling as FBA and FBM. When it goes out of stock with FBA, Amazon does not give FBM the buy box button. That's pretty normal. Even though it shows as eligible in Amazon Seller Central and Price Math FBA, it just put that the product will be available in X number of days. Is there any setup or way to make Amazon that when FBA runs out of stock to give the buy box to FBM? The answer is no. There are several factors that determine if you win the buy box. Amazon doesn't release these publicly, but we can tell you what we know by testing. Number one, price, if you have the best price. Another one is the health of your account. If you have strikes against your account, that'll affect you. Another one is if you're selling FBA. FBA, as a general rule of thumb, will tend to get the buy box, whereas FBM tends not to. So you can't control that. You can't manage or manufacture that. That's just how it is. What I would do is make sure you never go out of stock again. You should be planning out your inventory and your cash flow in such a way that you don't go out of stock, that you're always ahead of the game. We actually have an entire section in our training that addresses exactly that. Any tips you want to add to that, Emily?
No, I think that's exactly what I was going to say. So, nope.
Okay. Yeah.
That was good.
No problem. Next question. Good title is a full long title or short and minimal? There's a lot I could say about this. I'll just share one thing. Amazon's moving towards shorter titles. A lot of them now are restricted to 80 character spaces. The reason for that is exactly what Emily said earlier, using a long tail keyword, really focusing on that. Amazon is setting it up so it enriches the customer experience. If I'm a customer and I'm specifically looking for a tree coaster, and I search tree coaster, and 10,000 results hit those first pages, and 90% of them are not tree coasters. Does that give me a good experience? It gives me a horrible experience. So what Amazon's doing is by limiting how long that title is, it forces me as a seller to only put in the most relevant keywords, which means when Bobby McGee searches for my product, if he searches wooden tree coaster, fewer results come up, and a greater percentage of those are exactly what he's looking for, which means your conversion goes up. I know a lot of sellers feel like, oh, I hate this, I'm restricted. Yeah, you're restricted so you convert better. Customers happier, you're happier, Amazon's happier, everybody wins. All right, Emily, I'm going to close it up because my voice is almost gone. Is there anything you want? I'll let you close this off because I'm having trouble talking.
Sure.
What would you say to everyone watching right now? Any encouragement, any advice, anything at all?
Absolutely. There's something that I'm super passionate about. This was part of my talk at Ecom 2019, and I've been saying it in every coaching session I lead, which is there's a lot of people who say, oh, if I started, in 2014, I could have been successful, but there's no room on Amazon anymore. And I think that that's true only in the sense that maybe the most obvious basic consumer products have been snatched up by first movers. But if you are approaching it, not what product are you going to sell, but what solution are you going to provide, there is all the opportunity in the world, and you are only limited by your own creativity and obviously market demand. but your creativity almost creates that demand because you can see demand where other people can't. And so I said this to somebody yesterday, and he's like, oh, that's like a black belt ninja kind of move. And I'm like, maybe, but it's actually imperative to succeed these days. Because if you weren't on Amazon, you would never bring the majority of products that people bring to market. Because if you even told your best friend, they'd be like, I don't think that's going to hold. But we get confused by the platform. Like, if we build it, they will come. And that's not how it works. We have to create the solution to the problem that our customers are experiencing. And Seth, you've mentioned plenty of times sitting in the room with people who move a lot of big product, throughout the year, and they don't know all the technical stuff as well as other people. And it's like, well, that's because they chose a great product, and they can still be successful and kind of loose on the the art of it
Yeah.
because they chose such a good product. So I would just encourage you all today to reframe your thinking and provide solutions where there is need and where there's demand.
Yeah.
And if you do that, I really believe you will be successful.
Yeah, you're totally right, Emily. That's very, very good advice. Guys, listen to what she's saying. Notice she talked about solution and demand, which is what it boils down to that. Just one more thing, you guys, before we go. I know there's a lot of questions in here, and it pains me not to answer them. Like, Andy, when you said you launched, viral launch, you got 6 reviews, 5 stars, 1 negative, an automated PC, but your sales dropped. I know exactly why. It's not optimized. Like, there's reasons for these things. Here's what I want you guys to do. If you are a member of Just One Dime, I want you to go to the community group, and I want you to post your question there so coaches can help. Members can help. There are some $1 million sellers in there, even who aren't coaches, who also can help. If you are not a member of Just One Dime, I want you to email me directly. I'm actually going to chat my email right now. I want you to email me directly and say, Seth, here's my question. Can you help me? And I promise to get back with you to you within 24 hours, because even though my voice is fading, my fingers are good. So I can still type. All right. That's my commitment to you. I want you guys to get value out of this. So here it is. I just chatted. Everyone see it below? Yeah, no problem, Indy. Seth@justonedime.com. Send me an email and I will help. If you're a member, you know the rules. Use the community group. If I would say answer every question of every member in email, I would be more sick than this. I would die. So please understand that. But I hesitated about going live today. Emily texted me last night. He's like, Seth, are we on? And I'm like, you know what? I'm on. Let's do it. And I'm glad we did. And I hope it's been super valuable to you guys. All right. Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Seth.
you. Thank you, everybody. You guys keep going, keep crushing it. And again, don't forget the email, Seth@justonedime.com. I posted it there for you. Just don't send me spam if you want to be my friend. I'll see you guys later.